section. My guest is my Lord Kwame Trevor. Now, Lord Kwame Trevor is an ecological financial strategist. Oh, my brother, my sister. Now, what does it mean to say ecological financial strategist? Lord, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
So what does it mean to say that you are an ecological financial strategist? Please, you may have to get closer to the microphone for me, please.
Yes, yes, my brother. What it means is that we have to line our financial gains ecologically. So we have to use the ecological resources that is given to us by nature to create our wealth. The wealth that we'll spend, because the ecological resources is our true wealth. And our problem that we are having while we are facing so much poverty in Africa is because we have depart from accepting and utilizing the ecological wealth that was given to us by the universe, and give credence or more power to the man-made wealth, which we call the US dollar. The wealth is in the land, and it is the land, is the wealth from the land that they use and add value to it, and then they send back their receipt to us as money, our currency. Yes.
Okay, that is fair enough. So that is Lord Kwame Trevor. He's an ecological financial strategist. Now, talk to me about yourself. What's your qualification like?
Well, I am, apart from being an ecological strategist, I'm also a creative innovator. I'm a herbalist. I'm a mathematician. And apart from other skills like contractor and so forth, business manager, and my education is arrived from myself. I create my own education. My father, at the age of 15, my father said, I'm too smart. I don't need to go back to school. And at the age of 17, I got a 2-week holiday work at the local authority, you call parish council in our town. And when I did the 2 weeks work, they say, you can't live here. I was 17 plus at the time. And that turned into 10 years because of my mathematical skills, making up the bills for them, you know, effectively. So I have that in me. At the age of 2021, I spent $3 million for the government of Jamaica through, after a terrible storm we had named June 12, 1979. Thereafter, all the infrastructure went, so we had also to restore it. And I spent $3 million at that time.
You spent?
Yes, and I was able to account for it when the auditors come around.
Interesting.
Yes.
How is that an achievement, spending money and not making it? You said you spent $2 million and then $3 million American dollars, and then you were able to account for that. Tell me, what kind of achievement is that?
Record keeping.
Okay.
Yes, so, record keeping, accountability. You know, make sure that everything is trackable. You was able to trace it and account for it.
So you don't have formal education like that, right?
No.
Interesting. All right. So this is my guest, ecological financial strategist. Tell me, what is the problem with Ghana? What is the problem with Africa? What is the problem with Burkina Faso in terms of us always crying that our currency is lagging behind the dollar? What can we do? Tell me.
Okay. First of all, we have to accept and respect the earth and the contents of the earth. Africa is blessed more than everywhere else with various types of minerals. When you add the mineral deposit in Africa with what is in Russia, you have 90 to 95% of the world strategic mineral deposit. Africa have approximately 70 to 75% of the strategic minerals that they use for technological advancement. We need to take control of these minerals, and that will eradicate all the poverty that we are facing, and it will stop us from borrowing from the IMF, borrowing from the World Bank, or from the Paris Club, and they will have to come to us to borrow from us. We use the minerals to back our currency. The mineral is the best currency.
What does it mean to back a currency? Can you break it down for me?
Okay. To back the currency, our currency, and let's use Ghana for example. Ghana is one of the world's biggest gold trader. And if we keep the minerals in the ground, hypothecate it for future generations, and monetize it by doing geological assaying of it, and which produce a 43-101 code, and that report is a tradable instrument, just like a check or a standby letter of credit or a bank guarantee. It is a legal financial tender.
Let me get it better. Are you saying that once I have gold in the ground, I have diamonds in the ground, and I tell the whole world that, listen, we have surveyed this and we have diamond here and we have gold here, this is how much it is worth, it is enough to keep my currency up there, even without mining it?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
It is. The Western world is doing it. And they're even using the African minerals to do it. Right? So if they are doing it, we can do it too.
Lord Kwame Trevor, what you are telling me is that if we have gold and diamond in the ground, even if we don't mine it, and we let the whole world know that this is what it is, we have gold here and we have diamond here and this is how much it is worth, that is enough to keep our currency up there?
Yes, and you can use it to back your central bank, and you can print money from that.
How do you back it? When we say back, what does it mean?
Okay, so what you do, when you get the geological report, right?
Yeah.
You insure it. Or you can put it into a bond. You don't have to, but you can create it as a bond. Each claim for the report will be per claim, per like every 25 square kilometer or so much. And the legal distance that you can assay it down is 500 feet. From surface down 500 feet. And you value that. Okay, now you move that into, if you have a bank, you can put it on your ledger. Or you can put it on the central bank ledger. You put it on the central bank as what you call off ledger. and you only bring what you want to print value in money now. That only that you bring to the front of the ledger. So you keep it as at the back of your ledger, and there it is known as your currency reserve. So you do not have to wait until you get small US dollars to pinch and say that is your reserve. No. The currency, the value of your currency in the ground, your minerals is your currency, right? It is your reserve. And you print your money based on the volume of that reserve. So if you say, for example, you have $100 billion worth of mineral assayed, and you have that at the central bank, right? $100 billion.
At the central bank, not in the ground anymore.
No, in the central bank.
Right. So that means in this case you have to mine it, right?
No, you hypothecate it. So it's the document you have. Let me give you an example. When they do their exploration for oil, and they find the oil, commercial or industrial value, they value it, okay, and put a value to it.
Right.
And they trade that value and use part of that proceeds to mine the oil. But you don't have to mine the oil. You can just use that document and raise funds to do your other projects, infrastructural projects, your agricultural projects, whatever, social projects. And you do enough projects, for example, you do agricultural project, agro-business project, and so. And the returns from those projects, you use it to offset the funding that you have extended. And you still have your resources. You do not have to move the resources. Even when you take it out the ground, for example, you have $10 million worth of gold that you took out of the ground. You don't have to sell the gold. Even when you have add value to it and make it become jewelry, you don't have to sell it wholesale. We talk about tourism in Ghana. The tourism thing need a facelift, right? I personally is one of the pioneers of community tourism in Jamaica, along with Diana McIntyre Pike and Barry Bonito. And some of the things that we did to add value to tourism is to add value to the product, the community, the cultural products, right? Right now, I don't want to stray from the argument that we're talking about.
I think I am dumb because I'm not understanding what you are trying to teach me.
Yes.
If I have gold and diamond in the ground,
yes,
and I'm able to value it and say, well, this one is valued like this. Yeah. And you said it is enough to keep my currency up there. Now, China mines a lot of gold. Yeah. China has some oil. The UAE has a lot of oil. Saudi Arabia has a lot of oil. Why are their currencies not up there?
Well, they have an arrangement. Well, the Arabs have an arrangement with the US. They have an arrangement with them.
Including the Chinese?
The Chinese have arrangement with them since they allow them to, when they move their industries to China, it required raw material to do make the products them down there. So China was given the go-ahead to come in and exploit our minerals too. Okay? So they have an arrangement.
And the arrangement is to keep their currencies low?
It's not to keep their currency low. China keeping their currency low strategically.
So it's a strategy?
Yeah, strategy.
Oh, okay.
Why they keeping their, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go into that strategy. We don't have too much time today, but let me look at Africa. Yeah. So you are saying that once we have the mineral resources, we should be able to keep our currency up there. Why are we unable to do that? What's the problem?
Because we are too busy following the instruction of the West, instead of following our own financial independent a foundation for Africa, utilizing and using the resources of Africa to back our development instead of depending on US dollars.
This is 3FM.
To back our currencies or our development. We should not depend on any external funding to develop ourselves.
If Ghana hired you to come and deal with the financial situation, how would you start? In just about 2 minutes, how would you start? How would you do it? How would you solve the financial problem of Ghana?
First of all, I would call the council of chiefs together and said, listen, let us collaborate and value the resources in the ground, and we use those resources to create employment for your kingdom, and that you will acquire wealth from it. The government will acquire taxes from it, and that is how you start. For example, the Galamsey that is taking place, value the gold in the ground, and let's create jobs now for the youths them. Give them very good jobs in security to protect the environment that they are degrading now. And also let them be warders for reforestation and so forth. We need to do industrial agriculture.
So after you have met the chiefs and told them that you're going to mine and use it to develop the area and the people, what do you do next? You start mining?
We don't have to mine. What we do is that we use the money from the minerals in the ground to buy the equipments that we need.
How would you use the money from the minerals under when you have not mined it?
The instrument that you get from the geological report is a financial instrument that you can use. You can take it to the bank and borrow, or if you already have a bank, you use it to recapitalize.
So it's almost like a guarantee. You would use the document to go get a loan, so you're looking for loans.
You can do that. That is one way. And if you're going to look for loans, you shouldn't go further than the African Exim Bank and the Africa Development Bank.
And when you get the loan, what you do next?
Okay, then you do co-management, co-development of with using the skills here and the skills of the diaspora. We set up an African financial channel, which is similar to blockchain, and we use that as our management tool to eradicate corruption and to improve and assure accountability and integrity in our management system. That is what we are lacking, a proper management system.
So we would establish a management system that will fight corruption.
Yes.
And that way we'll be able to deal with our finances.
Yes.
When would mining come in then?
Mining is a trivial thing. It is not a major thing. You don't need to do much mining. So we do say maybe 5 to 20% mining. And the reason why we'll do that is to have minerals like gold to make jewelry. We need to set up a robust goldsmith and jewelry industry here. The youths, they need to learn that, because in Europe, 6-year-old and 10-year-old are learning how to do mining. And here, they don't have minerals there. Here we have minerals. And the youths here are not learning how to mine gold and how to make jewelry. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the Gamma-Stay thing on our hand.
I'm going to ask you again. Now, when you go get the loan,
yes,
what are you using the money for?
he used the money to set up renewable energy. For that is the first thing we need. And then we set up, Ghana have 14 million hectares of arable land. 6.6 million hectares still lying idle. We need to put that under mechanicalized agriculture and put the youth them to work. Give the youths them ownership of the businesses, the agro-businesses, the production of the cereals, the tubers, the fruit crops.
So what you're saying is that we're going to get loans. We're going to get loans using our mineral resources as guarantee. Yes. And when we get the loans, we'll go into agriculture.
Agriculture, agro-businesses, solar, healthcare, and all those things.
Interesting. That sounds very, very, very interesting. So that is how we'll be able to break away from the chain of poverty. Agriculture.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
I think this sounds good. And he is an ecological financial strategy. So you see where he has landed. Yes, we have the minerals, we have the diamonds, we have the bauxite and all that. But his argument is very simple. Let's use that to bait the world. Let the world come over to us because they want the minerals. Then we will use that as guarantee to be able to take some loans to back our currency. And then we try to fight what is called corruption. With the money that we have, we hit the road ecologically, dealing with agriculture. And that will save us. We don't necessarily have to mine until it comes to a default point, which we will be able to avoid using the anti-corruption rules. So you see, it's a whole beautiful cycle. Did I represent you right?
Definitely, my brother.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. If you have any final words you want to give out to the whole of Africa, listening to you right now, Burkina Faso, Ghana, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity, my brother. I want to say, first of all, to the Council of Chiefs, thank you sincerely for keeping the peace, for setting the foundation, laying the foundation for peace in Africa. And I want to say a very, very loud shout out to our brother Ibrahim Traoré for the bold step he had taken with the political aspect of our lives, taking it in control. And I want to back you with the financial revolution that we need to move forward. When I was born, on that day, the Bangui government in Central Africa was born, where they give them part power of their resources and of their government, and the rest of it is controlled in France until today. The other significant thing that happened on the day when I was born is Camilo and Shakavira make the move to take over Santa Clara in Cuba. And that had put the icing on the cake of the revolution in Cuba. So I was born on that day for a purpose, to eradicate the condition in the Central African Republic, and also to bring home our people from Latin America and the Caribbean back home, as I promised Kofi Annan in 1985.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Lord Kwame Trevor. Leave a phone number if you have one, so people might be able to contact you for further discussion.
Yes, my number is 059
0594
792
795. 795. Take it again. 0594
792 795. I'm calling on the youths who are now the keeper of the peace to be assured that their hope, because I'm here to make sure that the youths are empowered. we are going to turn out legal millionaires and billionaires in Africa like what China is doing.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
man.
coming on the show. We appreciate you.
Yeah, man.